Hi, my name is Ben Miller. I'm a physical therapist here at Total Physical Therapy in Amarillo. And today we're looking at a research study that addresses knee arthritis and how someone who has knee arthritis, if they run, does it make it worse? Does it make it better? That's what our research article is looking at today. The title of our research article is Running Does Not Increase Symptoms or Structural Progression in People with Knee Osteoarthritis. Data from the Osteoarthritis Initiative. So the Osteoarthritis Initiative is basically a big data pool of patients. The authors of the study, they go through and they say, for example, what they were looking for is they were looking for people who are at least 50 years old and had osteoarthritis diagnosed in at least one knee. And so they put this in the data pool, and I think 1,203 people end up coming back to them. And so the authors of the study then figure out, okay, how many of them are runners? And they look, and 11.5% of those people are runners, which comes out to about 138 people in this study are labeled as runners. And the cool thing about this is with the data initiative, or the Osteoarthritis Initiative, they track with their patients, x-rays at the very beginning of treatment, as well as x-rays, X number of months or years down the road. So with this study, they were looking at x-rays and pain as the two outcomes. X-rays were assessed at baseline as well as 48 months or 4 years down the road. And then pain was also taken at baseline as well as 48 months or 4 years down the road. And the study is looking at, versus people who were runners with arthritis versus people who had arthritis but are not runners. What are those two things? How do they differ? And the conclusion of this study was actually kind of interesting. So the people who were runners did not show a structural progression, or the arthritis did not get worse over the span of 4 years of them running at what they call self-selected paces. So what's a self-selected pace? A self-selected pace, according to this study, is where a runner goes out and they run based on how they're feeling. So one day they could feel really good, they run maybe a little bit further, a little bit faster, and then the next day, maybe not feeling so good, so they run a little slower, or they run not quite as far. And so that's basically what they define as a self-selected pace, and the runners that they identify here in the study were running at self-selected paces. Another conclusion coming out of the study is that the running group also were associated with decreased pain levels versus the non-running group. And so if you're a runner and you go out and you decide to run, typically your pain levels tend to be a little bit lower than people who are not labeled as runners. So what is the study trying to say? So basically the study is trying to say that if you have arthritis in the knee, we shouldn't be discouraged from running. You should go ahead and continue to run at what we call self-selected paces. The study shows that if you do that, it's not going to cause your arthritis to get any worse. And so what also is the study saying? This also is saying that if you continue to run, you may have better pain outcomes than somebody who's not a runner as well, as long as you're running at those self-selected paces. Now, what is the study not trying to say? So what the study is not saying is running is not a way to cure arthritis, and it is also not a way to prevent arthritis. The study is looking specifically at people who already have arthritis and following them to see if it gets any worse. It did not. But that does not mean, what they don't look at is they don't look at runners before they have arthritis and see if they have arthritis or if they get arthritis or if they don't get arthritis. That's a completely different study. And that's not what this study is trying to touch. Another thing that this study is not trying to say, it's not talking anything about other types of arthritis. For example, there are different types of juvenile arthritises. There are other types of rheumatoid arthritises. This subject or this study only addresses osteoarthritis of the knee. And so if you have other types of arthritises, we should be looking at other research studies and not necessarily this one to determine, can we continue to run? What does that look like? And that kind of thing. And so this is a pretty simple study with, I think, some pretty interesting conclusions. If you guys liked the video, go ahead and give us a like down below. And again, if you guys have any ideas for any future videos, post those down below too, so that we can kind of look at some different subjects and kind of bounce around some different ideas. All right, thank you guys for listening, and you all have a great day.